Well, 3 months into the year already, and depending where you are in the world, you'll be enjoying frosts thawing, days getting longer, cherry blossom popping, April showers threatening. But what about the world of nanoscale science and technology? Well, it's been a busy 3 months on nanotechweb.org as well. Let's take a look. 2015 is the International Year of Light, and already there have been a number of events around the world to mark the occasion. IOP Publishing's journal Nanotechnology has begun inviting submissions for a focus collection on nanophotonics with editors Tony Lowe and Vangyun Shah. And on nanotechweb.org, we caught up with some nanophotonics researchers at the Faraday discussions to hear a little about their research.
It's very clever. It harvests the sunlight, and it does that in the so-called photosynthetic complexes in a very fast but also very efficient way. More than 90% efficiency, which is a lot better than we can do personally in any artificial system we make. So what we like to see is, how does this molecular process jump on from one to the next to the next to the next? How does it do it so efficiently? How does it beat anything we managed to make ourselves so far? And perhaps we can learn lessons out of that. Yeah? That's what we're trying to get.
The constant flurry of developments in nanophotonics is part of what makes the International Year of Light such a cause for celebration of nanotechweb. So far this year, cadmium-free quantum dots have punctured mainstream commerce in TV displays. And we've seen signs of progress in the ability to harness nanophotonics for solar power applications. Here, Sam Case describes how tailoring zinc oxide nanowires can enhance solar cell performance.
Specifically, we're looking at zinc oxide nanowires and how they can benefit PV performance. So with this similar stack, I'd like to suggest a reason for why you might want nanowires. And you can consider what would happen when light comes into this solar cell. It's going to be absorbed in the quantum dot layer. Now, if the light is absorbed close to this zinc oxide nanowire interface, down here where we'll create an exciton. And this exciton can then move towards this heterojunction, and the charges can separate. Electrons and holes can separate, and that will produce photocurrent. Now, if the light is absorbed further up into this quantum dot layer, it's actually the case that the exciton can't make it to this heterojunction, and therefore the electron hole will recombine. And that won't contribute to photocurrent and will reduce the efficiency of the solar cell. So, to mitigate this issue, we can actually use nanowires. And nanowires extend the zinc oxide interface up into the active material. And in this case, both the excitons in the lower portion and the upper portion of the quantum dot layer can be separated. This case, just like it was before. In the other case, the excitons can actually move to the closest nanowire.
There have been some exciting developments in 2D material devices, with the first stable silicene field effect transistor and the first flexible phosphorine amberpolar field effect transistor. These achievements rely on a detailed understanding of material properties. At the Desbury Laboratory in February this year, we learned how the information retrieved from electron microscopy just got more detailed with the inauguration of the SuperStem 3.
It is a wonderful machine, it really is. Comparison I always give, and that's not my invention, but that's one I always take because I think it's really quite visual, is if you were to magnify yourself by the same amount that we magnify the materials we look at, you'd be able to hug the Earth. So that's that sort of magnification factor. The difference with this particularly new machine that we just received is it's got this extra little piece of equipment that's called a monochromator. And what that does is it makes sure that the electrons that come in, that you're going to be using, have a speed or an energy that is so well defined that you are then able to detect really minute changes in that speed afterwards. And what that allows you to do then is to see changes that you were not able to see before. And you're talking about an increase in sensitivity and resolution of about between 30 and 100 compared to other machines.
In biology and medicine, developments have included improved nanomaterials for photothermal cancer treatments and controlled drug release. And at the Stanford lab, there's been excitement in the extension of the Folding at Home project for protein folding calculations. so that people can volunteer the processing power of not just their PCs, but their mobile phones too. Time for now, but there's lots on the horizon with celebrations of the development of nano-imprint lithography, which revolutionised a nanofabrication technique into a nano-manufacturing technique 20 years ago this year. And we've more on the International Year of Light as we take a sneak peek into labs across the world to have a look at what nanophotonics researchers there are up to. And of course the bit that you can never quite foretell, the latest news and developments both in the journal Nanotechnology, but also all other outlets, both in industry and academia. Stay tuned.